Today we're going to go over 7 reasons why a simple business plan should fit on the back of a cocktail napkin. So at this moment, we as business people, we're competing with hundreds, if not thousands of businesses, and we're all fighting to get, number one, customers, number two, bank loans. And so we've all been in a position before where we go to a banker or we go to an SBA officer and we ask for help as far as getting loans. And the first thing they say is you have to have a business plan. And so then they give us these huge business templates. I know I have one that's about 30 pages and they weigh a ton. And you're like, do I really have to do all of this work? Do I really have to do a business plan that's 30 plus pages, or even a business plan that's 10 pages? And so you have, like me, have been thinking, okay, maybe this is a complete waste of my time. And the truth of the matter is that there's millions of businesses that start up, and they have these lengthy, very detailed, very well-researched business plans, and yet they still fail. So we have to ask ourselves, is planning and writing these long, lengthy business plans worth our time? And so what I did was I outlined why it's just simple to write, your business ideas down on the back of a cocktail napkin. 7 reasons why I believe we should have very short, simple business plans. And the first reason is that everything starts with an idea. The founders of Zappos, Tony Hsieh, he had an idea to sell shoes. And so he had an idea, and so he wanted to test the idea to see if there was any kind of demand for it. So he posted one pair of shoes on the internet just to see if somebody would bite. And lo and behold, someone bought the shoes. So this is a great example of someone who had an idea and tested it. Not only did he have an idea and tested it, but he also grew Zappos into the multi-million-dollar online corporation that it is today. Let's look at Stephen King. When I was growing up, Stephen King was the man. He dominated the bestsellers list in the 80s, and he had a lot of great stories that he said started from just him writing a few sloppy sentences. And his secret to success is that he just had one seed, an idea, and then he actually worked diligently to get that seed to grow. So let's look at reason number 2. Investors want to lend you money after you're already making money. We've all seen those horrible episodes of Shark Tank. I mean, we know what they ask. They ask questions like, how much money has your company made? How much money have you put into your business? What were your sales throughout the year? What were your profit margins? And they're not asking to read your business plans, because the truth of the matter is they simply don't care. All they care about is the amount of money they can make from these business prospects. And so if the company is already doing well in sales and the company is already making money, so to speak, then the sharks are all over them. So this should give you an idea of how important it is to have an idea that's tested and proven, and really to have something that's already profitable. Reason number 3, banks are not here to give you money, but to take it. Okay, I used to be a banker for years, and I know that banks love what they love more than anything else, as far as aside from charging us exorbitant fees, they love money, especially your money. I know there are a million articles out there that talk about writing a business plan for startups so they can go and get loans, but I have to tell you, a lot of this stuff is baloney. Banks that offer startup loans normally require a personal guarantee. What does that mean? It means that you are personally responsible for debt that the business acquires, and you will be reprimanded if you fail to pay those debts. So what does this mean? This means that the bank can put a lien on your house, they can freeze your accounts, they can even garnish your wages. So when it comes to borrowing money, your LLC that you incorporated in your state isn't really going to save you from going broke. And that business plan that you spent 2 months writing is not going to stop your business from going afloat. So number 4, a business plan is a never-ending process. There is this crude saying in the publishing world that once a nonfiction book is published, it is already outdated. This same concept can be applied to your ideas. We no longer live in a world where we sit and plan and work on products or services or anything in private for 6 to 8 months. Now we have to consistently test our ideas to see how the market is going to respond. And now we build our products and services around the market. There's no longer the business acumen where we build a product and you take whatever we give you. No, the customer is actually there guiding you throughout the process to tell you what they want. And so there's a level of flexibility that we have to have. And really, we have to be open to change. And it's difficult to change a 30-page or even 200-page business plan all the time when you have other things that you have to do. So this business plan has to be like a living document where it's constantly being changed. So, a lot of times if we're busy, we're going to be a little reluctant to change it. So, number 5, a lengthy business plan doesn't take into consideration fads and trends. Fads, and more fads. I had a client who wanted to do marketing and he wanted to do blogging on Facebook. Actually, he wanted to do Blog Talk Radio. So together we came up with a viable strategy on how he could reach out and educate his market. Then he made the worst mistake any business owner could make. He quit. He called me shortly after in a weak attempt to give his business another shot. However, he was angry with me when I presented him with a whole new strategy. He's like, everything is different. Yes, that's the thing. Everything is different because there is a factor in planning that no one can predict. And that factor is called change. So in the brief time that this client was vacationing from his business, he missed out on a major trend that was happening on Facebook. So by the time he got back, Facebook had changed its algorithm and killed our entire strategy. So in the business world, we have to strike when the iron is hot. And if we're taking time writing a long, lengthy business plan, those trends are going to be over before the business plan is even finished. Number 6, nobody cares. No one wants to read a dry and boring business plan. I had a conversation with a drunken professor. He was bitching and moaning about how brutal it was to read these awful, scratchy papers. He was reading his students' papers and he just told me it was just unbearable. So if you're struggling to write this business plan, you can imagine the strain you're going to put someone else through to read it. So in the end, if you're struggling to write it and someone else is struggling to read it, is it really worth your time? Is it really worth your time? And here's a cold, honest truth. And we're all business people. We're all entrepreneurs. So we know how it is to live in a world where we have to be practical. Nobody is interested in your business plan or your ideas except for you. And if you want another golden nugget, no one wants to read it. No one wants to read your business plan unless it benefits them. And maybe your mom might pick it up and jot down a few notes. But aside from her, no one else gives a damn. So, we're people, we have to really prove ourselves and have a proof of concept before anyone is going to invest in our business and really understand how and why our business works. So really what I'm getting at is that before you can even have a great business plan, you probably have to have a proof of concept and a system that's already working for you. Okay. And then once you have that, then businesses will start to invest in you and you have to, convince them that you're worth it. And here's my only thing. Instead of writing business plans, write creative personas. It's so dry and it's all about numbers and it's all about competitive analysis and it's all about market research and all those things are important. But the biggest factor that you have to understand is that we sell experiences. We don't sell services. We don't sell products. We don't sell ideas. We sell experiences. And I love the marketing campaign that came out in 2014 for a Toyota Highlander, and they kind of teamed up with the Muppets. And of course, anyone who's my age grew up watching the Muppets on television. And so it was a really catchy jig, we ain't got no room for boring. So it was a really catchy jig and it was a lot of fun. And of course, the commercial wasn't geared towards children because children don't buy cars. The commercial was geared toward the children that's inside of all of us. It's this feel-good feeling of us, not having any cares, not having any worries in the world and riding the back of our mom and dad's car and then listening to CDs. Back then there were CDs and listening to cassette tapes. So So what this does, what this commercial does, is that it conveys an emotion, it conveys an experience, and it kind of makes you feel good about riding in a Toyota. And so that's the experience that this campaign is actually selling. They're conveying an experience, and so this is what marketing and business it's about. It's about making people feel good about their purchases, and then teaming up an emotion with a memory, and by doing this you're actually sparking this innate desire that compels them to buy. So we can't really get caught up in numbers. We can't really get caught up in the dryness of market research. We really have to get caught up in people, because that's really what this is about. So now the debate begins. Short versus long business plans. Please sound off below. And if you're looking for more information about marketing online, check out my book, Total Business Marketing Makeover. It's now available at Amazon, and it comes with free 10 additional videos. So looking forward to talking to you and seeing you in my next video. Bye.